Welcome to the Stanley Street Social Daily Unpack of the Giro for 2020, Stage 4 last night. We saw the bunch gallop we expected, but also a pretty entertaining stage with a pretty serious climb in the middle of it. Bora did what Bora has been doing for the last month or so at the tour, throwing it down on the climb, distancing some sprinters. But it was a pretty interesting stage, Cambo.
Yeah, I guess all the major points you just ticked off, more or less a routine stage, but that sizable climb in the middle, a little bit Giro, just having a big climb there. Wet downhill as well. We saw
Filthy downhill.
Trek come to the front with Nibley. I think that was more just to keep Vince safe more than actually going on the attack, but I'm sure they would have been putting a little bit of pressure on just to make a few people nervous. No crashes, which was key, but Bora, they went hard, dropped Gaviria, and he never came back, came close. But it was quite an interesting stage. I enjoyed it.
If you do have any comments, questions, theories, hypotheses, please put them in the comment box. Put them in whatever platform you're listening on. They come through on our feed, so keen to hear your thoughts. The first climb, as well as Viviani, was also out the hoop. He was one of the more fortunate ones that made it back onto the bunch, but sitting pretty in that group was Arnaud Démare, the French national champion, everyone's pick, I think, for the stage. But even the finish wasn't textbook. It wasn't. There was a bit going on. Miles Scottson was off the front solo with 800 meters to go.
Yeah, well, they were super organised. They were up from the start. Just quickly before we do get onto that, Démare, the French national champion's jersey, clean, no sponsors on it.
It's FDJ's bread and butter national champ jerseys.
It's good, isn't it?
It's no good. It's no UAE.
Got the black nicks on as well. Very traditional. I liked it. But yeah, the finish itself, they got very organised. Did FDJ. Had a lot of numbers there. They didn't really contribute to helping Bora keep everyone at bay until probably the last 20K. Maybe they started to get some guys in the front.
About 20K to go. When Gaviria started to get a little bit close, his group was off the back. Viviani's was almost back on, but Gaviria's group was coming. He had some serious firepower with most of his teammates there. And that's when FDJ just gave it a little bit of a squirt, just made things a little bit tricky. And it wasn't too long after that the Team UAE threw in the towel and decided that Gaviria was not going to contest the final sprint.
Yes, I'm sure they would have wanted to keep all the guys for the lead out, but it didn't really matter. There was that left-hander with about a K to go where FDJ made sure they were in the front. Miles Scottson, former Australian champion, straight in first, got a little bit of a gap. And then it was one of those things where he got a big gap. Second rider let the wheel go a little bit, and then Miles was sort of on a bit of a solo mission. I didn't mind it because forced the other teams to chase. And if Cofidis or Viviani didn't have another teammate there, I didn't really see any other teams that were going to be able to sacrifice someone to bring it back. So it was a good move, and all's well that ends well, I guess. Démare winning. Haven't actually seen the photo. Was there a photo? I was watching.
I couldn't find a photo. Just quickly, a bit of admin. You got your headphones and mics scratching a little bit on your vest. I haven't seen a photo, and they didn't have it on the footage either. They kept showing this replay that kind of showed nothing except that it was super duper close. I guess another sprinter that was dropped on that climb was Hodgie, the quick step rider. The young quick step rider was distanced on that climb, which gave Ballerini, I guess, full swing at the stage if he didn't have it already. And so it was a photo for those three on the line.
Where's this photo? I want to see it because I was watching the footage for 5-10 minutes after they finished, and they just were showing
The
replays.
G-Man,
They were showing
the
everything but
G-Man's
the
got the
photo.
photo. You keep talking. I'll do a little bit of searching on Twitter.
Yeah, well, I mean, looking at it, it probably looked like Demar had it, but no one was really, really confident. And normally riders know. They normally know whether they've won or lost by a couple of mil, but there was a genuine indecisiveness. And yeah, I mean, Peter Sagan, good God, he hasn't won a race this year. He's been so close on several occasions. Team again, super all day, made the split, but again, just so close and just a super quick guy there. Couldn't quite get rid of all of the quick guys. And yeah, I'm sure they'll try again, but it's just not looking like it's his season at all.
It's probably not the photo you're after, but that indicates how close it was.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool photo, actually. Look how many people there are in the background.
It doesn't matter. It's Italy.
Do what they want.
Let's go. Can we just touch on Viviani? Fifth,
Yeah.
wasn't really there. Was never really in it. Getting paid a mozza at Cofidis. Hasn't really hit the ground running. Home tour, did the Tour de France. Nothing to report. It's just a bit of a flat year for him.
Well, I think back to this photo. I think this is like Viviani's year. He's always been kind of there, but not really. Just here. Just fifth.
Never really there.
Oh, but
He's there, but not really.
Without pumping my tires up too much, that's what I said when he left Quick Step. He was winning because Morkov was delivering him to the line. Like, yes, he was fast, but he was getting these stages kind of plated up.
Yeah.
He was still doing the work, which is obviously isn't easy to do, but he hasn't really got that. I don't think any other sprinters got that. It's why I think Sam Bennett won partly because he was quick, but also because he was delivered well. It was unbelievable. He's the presence Quick Step have on the end of the race, and then also the ability of Morkov to take him to the line.
Also, just touching on Quick Step, Ballerini's rocking in for third, really close to the victory. Again, at the start, we talked about their team sheet. Nothing super exciting, but they're in the pink jersey. They've had top threes on every stage. It's except for the Mount Etna. I mean, this team, man, it's just incredible. Like we didn't know many of the riders well, but we just knew that they were gonna pop up for results. It's just something going on there at Quick Step, and it's been happening for a number of years. Just this winning mentality,
the Wolfpack culture.
Wolfpack.
Well, maybe
the Wolfpack, but they've got that dog mentality.
Yeah. Maybe a touch ahead of the game with that kind of giving young pups big opportunities, and they deliver. They it's been a year of we hadn't heard of many riders at all that have been successful, but yeah. Have you seen the comment that just came in from Adam? Have you seen the podium shot?
Haven't seen the podium shot.
Red bibs.
Bring this up.
Yeah.
Pull it up.
That's why we actually need to recruit Jamie. We need to get him in house. We can get him on the tools.
There it is. Bring it up.
How do I copy this? I'm having awful troubles copying it. Go on. What were you saying?
I was saying maybe he just wore the blacks. There was a bit of rain around. Didn't want to ruin the Red Knicks. The Red Knicks look pretty decent actually, with that French national champions jersey.
Yeah.
How you going there with that tech, mate?
Yeah, no, I've got it. I had to manually type in the address because it doesn't let you copy it off. How do I copy this? There we go. 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 There off off the comments, but here you go. Red Knicks. Look at that! Look at that jersey.
Yes.
No sponsors, no worries.
It's clean, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so clean.
Imagine if it wasn't for the mandatory UCI badge.
Yeah. I'm a massive fan of that.
And
And
I
a
like
massive
the
fan
Red
of
Knicks too.
and a massive fan of Demar too, to be fair. I mean, being left out of the tour as the French national champ, to be winning all through August, September, and to show up at the Giro still in good nick, still motivated, and to win a big stage like this, it's hats off to him. Hats off to him as well.
Yep.
And
some,
also to the lead out, they were super organised.
yeah.
Lots of guys there. Clearly, they're there for the sprints. And yeah, it's good to see Miles having a really important role as well within this team. And if he can become good powers with Demar, become reliable, that's a really good relationship for Miles to have going forward.
You think that could be a key? That could be the longevity of Miles's career. A couple of options to go wild on some stage races, but he did a good job last night. Even so, with about 2 clicks to go, they had 3 guys there, but as did Israel, as did Cofidis. I think a little bit of credit does need to go to Miles in that passage at about 2K to go. He couldn't go yet because they would have ran out of guys, but he just held it, managed traffic, got through a couple of little difficult situations, and then put the burners on with a K to go. Probably took the corner a bit too hot for his teammate.
Yeah.
Good problem to have. And then if he had held the wheel there, it would have literally been a textbook lead out. He would have been dropped off with about 700 to go. Is in his lead out man, dropped off at 700 to go. I think Miles did a super role there. Yeah. And as you said, I think it's a very good point for the longevity of Miles' career. If he can, manage the French squad, I think it's a good spot for him.
I wonder how his French is going.
I don't know if he has any French, does he?
Not the last time I spoke to
him. Filthy downhill. Oh, I felt bad for them watching it this morning. That downhill looked disgusting.
Yeah, and even the finish, the last couple of K started to rain as well.
The
worst.
We're going to see a lot more of that.
The worst kind of rain. It's not pissing rain. It's just started to drizzle. Everyone doesn't know whether it's wet or dry. Come around a corner, it's wet. You go on full speed. Luckily, there was a crash. I'm not sure if you saw.
Yeah,
Bridge two guys from a Pro Conti team would have splattered over the ground somewhere. There was no real contact to it.
Yeah, way off the piece.
Yeah,
like it looks very random. But imagine what it's going to be like. So they're at 1,200 meters at the top of that, 1,124 meters at the top of that climb. Imagine what it's going to be like when they hit the genuine mountain passes.
And we're in the south as well.
Yeah,
we're in the south of Italy right now. So, like I said earlier, I think snow is almost a given at some point through this tour. But we'll just have to wait and see. Also, Alex, big talking point. No Geraint Thomas on the start.
Yeah.
Yesterday. Yep. Some season for Ineos.
So by stage 4, my winner and third on the podium no longer in the race, and my second place is 4 minutes off the pace.
Yates isn't out of this though. We talked about this a little bit off air yesterday.
Yeah,
he didn't lose that 8 or 9 minutes, which probably ends your race. It was a couple of minutes. Yeah. Lucas had a good chance as well to really cement his spot as leader. But I think now that there's only 30 seconds between the two, you think Simon's still going to be the leader. But even last night, he was sitting down at the back a little bit, almost like lost his head a little bit. I'm not too sure. I know he likes to sit at the back, but you probably don't want to see your leader just hanging down the back like that.
It would have, as a Lucas fan, it would have been nice just because he was in the mixer. He was with the big boys and just got a little bit distance at the end there, which lost him a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
Which he's still in front of Yates, but it doesn't quite, I think, like we were talking about. It would have been nice if it was just that little bit further. Yates didn't blow either. Like, full credit to him for getting up that climb, not too
Yeah.
far out of it when he was gone early. But if Lucas had just that little bit more time, it would have been super, because it would have been, I imagine, enough to say, all right, this guy's our GC man, with Yates as kind of a dark horse, but let's put our eggs in this basket. Whereas now he's probably not far enough in front to start getting too excited about Lucas.
Yeah, I concur.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
That
Not from stage 4. No. Actually, one thing, Joe Almeida picking up those bonus seconds in the last.
Yeah,
that was impressive.
It was a cool sprint.
Yeah. This guy wants it. He wants it real bad. A bit of a celebration as well when he came across the line. Had those intermediates. So he was climbing well the other day. It'll be interesting to see whether he can keep it tonight, because we head back into the hills, and in Giro fashion, we're looking at 225 Ks this evening.
So many miles. So many miles.
Is it a day for the Fuga, for the breakaway?
I don't know.
I mean, we were talking to Ben O'Connor last night. This was one of the stages that he put down for the breakaway. If he's looking at it, you can imagine that there's a lot of other people that are going to be interested.
Yeah. There's
Wrong
also
day to control. I think it's got it written all over it.
Yeah. A nightmare of a day for Quickstep.
They'll probably put someone in it, to be fair.
Yeah.
They love being ahead of the race, being ahead of the fight.
Head of the game. At 214 kilometers, they top out the final Cat 1 before a downhill run to the finish. I'm just scared for the riders. Just got a taste of the weather last night. You just need one of these days to be filthy wet, throw in a bit of snow. It's good from your living room couch, but being in the race, nightmares.
Yeah, I'm a little bit scared too. I feel like it's just got this feeling that something bad, so there's going to be a bad crash in this Giro somewhere. Just wet roads, dodgy roads.
Giro organisers.
Yeah, just I don't know. I don't want to talk about it too much, but I think you're right, Alex. It's making me a little bit nervous too.
Yeah. Anything else to note on the stage before you have a punt on who's going to win?
Like I said, probably going to be a breakaway that's going to win. I think we're going to see some GC action too on that last Cat 1.
Yeah.
Downhill to the finish. Vince was looking super good on Etna. Downhill to the finish. Again, we don't really know how technical it is, but it's probably going to be technical. It looks good for Vincenzo. Is João Almeida, the young legs, how's he going to go? 225K. Can he keep it? Not too sure. But yeah, break. Who's going to win it? Lottery. Genuine lottery. If you thought the Tour de France breakaways were hard to pick.
Well, one of the options is the guest we had on last night's podcast, Ben O'Connor.
Yeah, yep. I'm probably looking at him. Jai Hindley's too close on the GC to probably be let go. He would love to get involved in this. EF, someone from EF, they've been pretty active, jagged a stage already.
Jimmy Wheeler, tomorrow's guest.
Tony Gallopin. I'm not going to pick anyone. I just can't. I don't. I don't know. Who are you going?
Well, I before I go on a punt, you know what I really like? You mentioned Jai Hindley before. Really like that he was 26 last night. Like he's showing intent. He's not far off the general.
No.
He's there in support of Wilco. Couple of spots up. Like just putting himself in the mix, making sure you're not losing unnecessary time, unnecessary crashes. Bit of kudos there for Jai Hindley. Another one that I'm interested in, which we touching on a little bit beforehand, is Pello Bilbao.
Yeah, your boy.
I'm kind of getting on him. He's third on the overall. He's won a couple of stages here in the past. Never really featured on the general except for a sixth in 2018.
Which
He's
is
got
good.
a tour in his.
That's
He's got a
decent.
tour in his legs. What does that mean?
Well, yeah. Does it mean that he's flying for 10 days and then just completely runs out of gas in the last 2
Yeah,
weeks? That's
yeah.
possible, or is he just carrying it on, just pressing on, just being able to hold this good shape for another 2 weeks? Because he was flying towards the end of the tour. He was really important for Landa, doing a lot of setting up, getting himself into moves as well. So maybe he's just sort of off the back of that form. But you think now that he's so high up on the general, he's going to have to keep riding to try and defend that. So, yeah, good pickup. You know what, Alex? I'm gonna go Joe Dombrowski for the stage tonight.
From the breakaway.
Yeah, from the break. Wild, I know.
Well, if you eliminate the GC teams and you just pick one other out of the hat.
I like Adam's point. Matteo Fabro, he was tearing strips off the bunch on Etna the other night. He was looking really strong. So maybe tonight he gets to go up the road. But at some point, you think he's gonna land himself in the right move and just leave everyone from the break, because he was absolutely flying on Etna.
Yeah, I think it was something that interesting that Ben was talking about. He's like, there's just so many opportunities for the breakaway here. Not many teams to control things. Lots of wild stages, huge length. Not attractive for a GC team to ride the front.
Can you imagine doing 225k tonight, potentially?
Yeah,
I don't know what the weather's like, but
it's not like, oh, you've just got this 225 stage. Let's just get through it, and then we've got everything else is quite reasonable. Like it's wild the whole 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know it's literally a raffle tonight.
It is a raffle. I'm going to go with James Knox to Koenig Quickstep to put a man up the road. And he's the man.
Yep, don't mind it.
Defense.
Best offense.
The best offense.
Cool.
That's all for tonight. Tomorrow, on paper, we've got Jimmy Whelan joining us for the start. So we'll chat to Jimmy at the start and then stay on for a bit of a chat, unpack the rest of the stage with him after he heads off to breakfast. So if you want to tune in, hopefully penciled in for 5:30 tomorrow. And it looks like this is probably the best time for the riders. As they get up, they did have the big transfer on the ferry last night. So they can enjoy that this morning.
All right. See you
Thanks,
tomorrow.
Campbell.
Ciao.
See you tomorrow. Thanks, everyone, for listening in.